Hello, and welcome again to our channel. This is Lydia. She inspires all. And I would like to thank you once again for following us and for watching this channel. Thank you to those who are returning, who are our favorites, and who have continued to support us and even share this content with their families and with their relatives and with their friends. And if you're new here, please do feel welcome. Carry on and just subscribe, follow us, ask questions on the comment section. And do remember to turn on your notification button so that when we come on live, then you will be notified to watch all our videos. Now, thank you to those who have asked questions and have received quite a number of emails and have tried to respond to all the emails in my inbox. I am sure of that. And those that are pending, maybe I have instructed you or advised you to watch some of my channels where I have been very clear on either the process or the requirements that you need for you to relocate to the UK. We are just recovering now after a very stormy weekend. We had Eunice and we had Franklin today. So it's an evening here. That's why I was not able to record during the weekend because of the stormy weather. Anyhow, I want to remind you that I am not a solicitor. I am not an immigration lawyer. If you need to make a decision or ask legal questions or make decisions to apply, make sure that you contact a legal a solicitor or someone who understands the legal stuff, okay? My name is Lydia. Again, I am a coach, I am a mentor, and I am a speaker certified by John Maxwell. And I live here in the UK. I think it's a decision that I made to relocate, but God opened a way. And you know, there are so many people who've been asking me, either on my messenger or emails, or even those who have my phone number, or those we are connected in one way or another, how they can relocate to the UK through the open channels that are there right now, especially the health and care sector that has opened up so many opportunities. And I'm surprised that they have not even made the first step to get their own passport. And the second step, to find out more about these opportunities by going to the websites or even watching YouTube channels like this one, so that they are educated to make more informed decisions. It is sad that there could be people taking advantage of your ignorance out there. And for me, I am here to help you, to support you by sharing this information. I am not going to be able to make an application for you because that is not my work. And I am not going to find jobs for you. I can only point you to where the jobs are. I do not have agencies that I'm talking to because I'm employed full-time by my employer. I am sharing from my experience and my research, and I hope that this will benefit you. I relocated to the UK. I am now a settled citizen. I got my indefinite leave to remain. And so I have been through this journey. I came to the UK through a tier 2 skilled worker route or visa. And so it is the very same process. And so I am able to point you to where to find information. And in this channel, I am going to show you where to find information. As I said, I am not in the health and healthcare sector at all. I am in international development, but the information is in a government website, and you don't have to be handheld to know where the information is. So I am going to share my screen and show you where to find information. And at the end of my recording today, I will also share with you an opportunity that came up, or that was announced this week, was it last week, by the government as another route in the health and care sector. Now, I will share this link with you so that you know where to find information. And I'll go straight to the health and care worker visa section. I have shared before the overview of this visa type. It is for all health, it is for health and care workers to allow medical professionals to come to and stay in the UK and do eligible jobs with NHS. This is where we are provided with healthcare, or an NHS supplier, or in adult social care. If you're from the EU, or your family is from EU, Switzerland, or Norway or Iceland, then you've got to go through the settlement route. Now I'm hoping that this is for people that are in the third world countries. And this is the eligibility. It is so clearly written down here for you by the government, by the way. To qualify for a health and care worker visa, you must be a qualified doctor, nurse, healthcare professional, or adult social care professional. An adult care social professional is just so easy. I think it is what we call house helps in Africa, but you've got, of course, to be trained. And there are companies that are out there that will train you on what it entails to be an adult social care professional. And of course, there are qualifications that go with that, and I will not go into details into that. You have to work in an eligible health and social care job, work for a UK employer that has been approved by the Home Office, not just any employer. You will need to have a certificate of sponsorship. Even for me to come to the UK, I had to find a job first, and then the employer got me a certificate of sponsorship. Now, I have shared in another video, and I'll put it in the description, where I have showed you how to check if the employer that is hiring you here in the UK is in the list of the qualified companies to hire. Yes, so please watch that video. So you'll need to get a certificate of sponsorship, and it has a very unique number just for you, and be paid a minimum salary. It depends with the work that you do. I had a different rate, but it was within what was acceptable at that time. Then knowledge of English. You must be able to speak, read, and write English, or understand English, and you need to prove your English knowledge through checking on NARIC, and we can go into details later. And if you're not eligible for a health care and care worker visa, if you're not eligible for a health and care worker visa, there are other options. And I have shared those other options, including education, IT, artists, in another video. And I also put it in the link in the description here, so that you're able to watch it as well. So it is not just the health and care route. I mean, I didn't come through that route. I came as a skilled worker, but working in international development. How long can you stay? You can stay here up to 5 years and then extend your visa. Now, you can change an employer while here in the UK, but that will mean a gap. And there is a whole guidance on that. It is not recommended for you to change an employer, because you've got to go through a whole process of resigning, and that will create a gap. So when you come in, insist on getting the first 3 years, and then later you will extend. And I can talk about extending in another video, so that after 5 years, then you will be eligible to get an indefinite leave to remain, like me. My employer was kind enough to to have my job for the first 5 years, until when I got my indefinite, and I'm still working there because it is an employer that I love. I love my job. And how long can you stay? You can stay after after the 5 years, as I said. Then you can settle permanently in the UK by getting an indefinite leave to remain. And it is not just you. If you have dependents, if you have a spouse, if you have children, and I will insist again, I know I have insisted in another video, if you have a spouse and children, make sure that you add them in your initial application. Do not make a mistake of leaving them out. Please, you might come earlier and then they will follow you after, like I did with my children. I came a month earlier and then I went back to my country to come with them or to pick them up. But do not make a mistake of leaving them out of your application. And I'm more than happy to help you when you're filling in your application, just to make sure that you do not make a mistake, because Home Office, by the way, they will not give you an opportunity to go and say, oh, this was a mistake. Oh, no. They look at the documents. It is the documents that will judge you. It is the documents that you have presented to Home Office or for the consular, or even the visa center where the visa will be issued. They will not have an opportunity to come back to you. So make sure that you fill in the right information. How to apply? There are different ways. You can apply when you're outside the UK. You can extend. This is when you're within the UK, and there are categories of people who can and who cannot extend as well. Or you're switching to a different visa. As I said, you can switch to a different visa, but it is a whole complicated process. But I have seen people who have switched, but it is a complicated process. If you want to change your job or your employer, you must apply to update your visa. You must apply, and it is a whole process. You can include, as I said, you can include your partner and your children in your application. Do not make a mistake of leaving them behind. How long does it take? You can apply for your visa for 3 months before you relocate, and that is why I said you can apply together with your family, leave them, and then return and pick them, or they can follow you after. I've seen colleagues and even friends who have left their families and the families followed after, especially if you have an adult with them. For me, I left my children, but I had to prove they are under the care of my friends. I am grateful to have good friends who are staying with them, who picked them from school and took care of them for a whole month. So you can apply for your visa up to 3 months before it expires. And I can talk about, I think I've talked about the things that you need to do when you come to the UK. Watch out for that visa on arrival, or after a few days, then you will go to the nearest post office and get your biometric card, or we call it a BRP, biometric residence permit card, which is so important. You don't even carry it anywhere, my friends. You don't, because if you lose it, then it is the document that shows that you're legally here. Yes, so you don't want to lose it. So you pick it from the nearest post office. Getting a decision once you have applied online, provided your identity, a number of documents that I have talked about in another video, and I'll put the link here, then you should get a decision within 3 weeks. What I have heard is that the health and care visas are now fast-tracked. Yes, so you don't wait for so long, you get a decision quite quickly. For me, when I was coming, my organization paid an extra 500, I think 500 more to be able to get a decision within 5 days. We had no luxury of time because my position was vacant. So they needed me in the UK as soon as possible. But it also reduces anxiety as well. How much does it cost? You and your partner will need to pay for the application fee, and you have to prove you have enough personal savings. Now, when an agency or an employer is if you have not applied directly, you may be using an agency or a firm here in the UK, they usually pay for you all the fees. Like I didn't pay, and I know quite a number of people who have not paid a cent. And I will do another video after this one to show you the kind of conduct that employers are supposed to adhere to. And this is one of them where they are not supposed to charge any fees unless you have applied directly and they have told you to pay for yourself. But they are, even if it is an agency, they are not supposed to. Then of course, I did not have to prove that I had enough savings because I was coming for a job, and my employer proved that they will have enough money to pay for my upkeep and my family's upkeep as well. And we will check the money that we need. The health surge, which is an expensive route, you will not pay for the healthcare surcharge, which is quite expensive. It's quite some money. So you are exempted from that, and it is such a joy. I love the UK. The healthcare here is top quality. Yes, there are delays, there are complaints, but it's top quality, and I'm grateful for that. The things that you cannot do and can do, you can work in an eligible job, take additional work in certain circumstances, and those certain circumstances are listed. You have to be paid in the same amount of money, I think, that you're paid in your current job. And of course, it has its own disadvantages, because then this is treated as a second job. And for me, like I have been in management, and I can only find a job in a vertical role, and I didn't want to go that route anyway. And my employer was paying me enough money to take care of myself. You can also do voluntary work. We do a lot of voluntary work with the church, with the homeless, supporting your community, because then you're supposed to be part of a community. Is there a lot of ways to contribute, which is valued a lot by the UK government. You can study, but you pay as an international student. But there are so many online opportunities, and employers also offer capacity building and personal development stuff for their packages for their staff. So when you come take advantage of that, you can bring your partner and your children as dependents. Like I came with my children as dependents, and that is if they are eligible. Not extended family, by the way. If you have a child that you've adopted and it is not legal, sorry, you will not be able to bring that child here. Make your documents clean before you make your application. And I know it is a long process, but you can only bring the eligible dependents. You can travel abroad and return. I have traveled to so many countries, and because you are legally here, then you can exit and return. You can apply to be a permanent resident, like I am a permanent resident, of course, but you cannot benefit from public funds. And this is something that I want to just highlight. Do not take any money that has a state that is related to the state. Don't. Public funds do not get there. Benefits do not get there. I have a child with special needs, and sorry, for 5 years we've not benefited. Why? Because we were not settled citizens. You cannot change jobs, all employers, unless you update your visa. As I said, it is quite complicated to then change your employer. So don't think that it is where you change this job and take the other, or one employer to the other. You cannot do that. But you can change your job within the same organization. Like I have changed my job title 3 times, and I have changed my role twice. I came in as a business, what you would call a portfolio manager. I was in charge of the Southern Africa pool, but my role changed after, I think, 2 years to managing staff, and that is acceptable. It's just that the employer has to make sure that is updated in the government website. And if your application is successful, you will get a full list of what you can and cannot do with a healthcare visa. Now, I think this is long. We've said what it costs. What else do you need to know? The salary requirements. How much will you be paid? You will need to meet the different salary requirements. This one, 1181, is for health services and public health managers and directors. 1242, you have to know the code, by the way, if you're coming here or if you're applying for a job. You've got to know the code, the occupation. We call them occupation codes. Biological and scientists, 2112, 2113, physical scientists, laboratory, and here 6145, and this is a new one. It was announced last week, so this has been added, and it is 6145 for care workers and home care workers. Before, we would only get jobs for senior care workers, the 6146 route, but now, thankfully, the government has added care and social and home carers, which is very basic, by the way. Okay, then how much the salary requirements, and at least 25,600 per year, which is about 10 pounds and 10 pence per hour, whichever is higher. And there's a whole calculation for that, for you to meet the eligibility, by the way, which I have talked about in another video, which I'll put down here. When you are paid less, we talked about that in another one, because there are jobs that could pay you less, and that will mean that you will have to do something to meet your eligibility as well. What else do you need to know? How much does it cost? The English requirement. I talked about the English requirement, your knowledge of English. You have to check if you have a degree that was taught and assessed in English, you do not have to do an English test. If you haven't, you have to do an English test. You have to check through ECCTIS, which is formerly NARIC. That is where we checked before we came. We didn't know that we were required to check. By the way, we had to send our documents in advance through a portal and got it fast-tracked. That was requested by British High Commission in Nairobi. And we had to submit within 48 hours, otherwise we'd have lost that opportunity. And these are the countries which are, you do not have to be to show that you speak and you meet the English criteria. How much does it cost? We agreed that this will be a long one, so that I am thorough and you're clear what to expect. Pay the application fee. When you apply for a healthcare visa, you will need enough money to pay for the application and support yourself. And usually it is 1,270 pounds, unless you're exempted. Like I was exempted because my employer proved that they are able, that there's enough money to support me. Make sure that you are able to prove, and once you get a job, make sure that the letter that you get from the employer is very clear that they are able to support you and support your stay here in the UK. Yes, I cannot insist more. And all the things that they have done, but make sure that in that offer letter, in that letter, which you will submit together with your documents for a visa, is very clear. Then the application fee. The standard up to 3 years is 232, which we said could be paid by your employer. For more than 3 years is 464 per person. And if you're not coming using this route, of course, there is the NHS or the health care surge fee that you have to pay. Then your application fee will be automatically reduced if you submitted your application before the 25th of February 2022, or you are from an eligible country, and these are the eligible countries. They are listed here. Money to support yourself, we say that you need about 1,270 in your bank account to show that you are able to support yourself. And if you have beneficiaries or dependents as well, they also have to prove that you're able to take care of them. But if you've got a job, then you do not need to prove this. You for 28 days, by the way. What else do you need? Yes, this is where I said your certificate of sponsorship must confirm this, that your employer can support you. Instead, make sure that that offer letter that you will be submitting for your visa is very clear, that your employer is able to pay for your maintenance fee and additional data as you apply as well. Make sure that you're very clear so that you're not struck out. What else? Of course, these are the documents that you need. For your application, you will need a certificate of sponsorship with a reference number, and which the employer will give you. You have to prove a knowledge of English or English knowledge, and you've said how you can prove that. A valid passport. So if you don't have a passport, you shouldn't even be here. Please apply for your passport first. And other travel documents, and your identity, your job title, and your annual salary. So if you're paid, make sure that the salary here is in British pounds, so that will show there, but it also has to have your job title, your job occupation code, which will be provided by your employer, and the name of your employer and their license number. Every employer has a license number, and this will be on your certificate of sponsorship. And of course, your employer, a legal team or the HR will help you with that. If your certificate of sponsorship was issued before the 1st of December 2020, your certificate of sponsorship will need to be updated because it has assigned to you before Tier 2 General. Visa was replaced by skilled worker. That's just for information. Other documents that you might need, and I have done a video on all the documents that you will need. Depending on your circumstances, you might be asked to provide your evidence of your savings, prove your relationship with your partner. So if you're not married properly, or you're not in an official partnership, then you might be asked to prove. Or you have children, make sure you have your birth certificates and with your names on them. If they are adopted children, like one of my friends has a child, an adopted child, and he had to have the adoption papers before the application. The TB test, which is done from the listed countries, and the countries are listed here. I will not go into details. We had to do a TB test, both myself and my dependents. That's my children. Your application will not be accepted if you do not have a TB certificate. Check in your area where you can do the test. If you do not have a test center in your country, look for the nearest, because if you are not in the list that is exempted, you will not be allowed. Your application will be denied. It doesn't matter. I have someone who I know very well who was denied, whose visa was his family was, and it took a long process for them to get their documents in order. Why? Because they couldn't produce a TB certificate, a criminal record certificate. That is required. After then you do what we call a DBS is here. You will know about that if your UK PhD certificate or your unique ECCTIS reference number, formerly known as the NARIC number reference number. You have to put it in the application. You have a blank page where the VIGNET sticker will be put, because that is the sticker that you will use for entry. And then when you are live, and make sure that you watch my video on the 10 things that you need to do when you come to the UK. The other thing is to pick your biometric resident card, which is like a bank card or an ID, an identity card from the countries we come from, or a driver's license, but it has all your details there. And that is what you use to show that you are legally here. There are other countries where you also need to, when you come to the UK, make sure that you go to the, you register with the police. Yes, and what else? Your partner and your children. There's your children. Remember that if a child is above 18 years, unfortunately, unless that child is not, has special needs or special needs, then that child is not a child, unfortunately. Your children have to be 18, under 18. And if you are, they are not eligible when they are above 18, unfortunately. Now, when they, after you get your visa and you're here in the UK, for you to renew, doesn't matter whether they are above 18 or not, then their visa will still be renewed. Just that they have to prove that they are still dependents, and that's a process down the line. But you can only apply for children that are below 18. A wife or a husband or a civil partner, you've got to prove as well. And for a partner, you must be living together in a marriage or something that is recognized in the UK for at least 2 years, or be in a relationship for more than 2 years. For children that are with you and are 16 or 16 and above, then they must be financially supported by you, or they're still in school. Oh, what else? The rest is really extending your visa and update information from from your employer if you change your job and all that, and extending as well. And I think I have done this justice. There are other people who've been asking about extra jobs, and here they are taking an additional work. You cannot extend 20 hours in another place. It has to be the same occupation code at the same level as your main job. And that's the catch. And it has to be in a shortage occupation, so not any other job, unfortunately. If you'll be working more than 20 hours in a week or in a different occupation, you will need to update your visa again and get a new certificate of sponsorship from your second employer. And not many employers that are willing to do that. Include a letter with your application explaining you want to change your job. So yeah, I think that's all for today. Make sure that you watch this video again. I will share this link so that you can go through it on your during your free time and familiarize yourself. There are so many people that are charging hefty fees, I hear. I don't know them, but I hear, I've been told, for this information. I'm just offering it for free. Why? Because I love helping people. Supporting people is something that I am so passionate about. It is something that I love to do. It is something that I do with my heart. And as I said, I am a coach, I am a speaker, and this is one way of giving back to you all. Remember, 6145 and has been added to this list, and that shows that anyone can now apply if you qualify. Yes, and I think that is it from me today. I do wish you a very, very lovely day. from wherever you are. If this is your first time here, make sure that you watch the other videos so that then you can familiarize yourself and prepare yourself. You are welcome to the UK. I love the UK. My children love the UK. This is our second home and I just love it. Once again, thank you so much for watching, and I wish you all the best as you make your applications and preparations, and as you do your research. Make sure you do your research as much as you can and find out more about the opportunities that you're applying for. Do not rely on other people at 100%. You're welcome here in the UK. If you have any specific challenges not making an application or looking for jobs, please do reach out to me. I will leave my email address right here, or you can even drop a message. Share this video with other people. Who knows? It might be that opportunity that they've been looking for, and who knows, they might apply for a job and get it. And by the way, if you apply for a job and don't get it, be patient, keep applying, keep doing it, keep trying. Know that the market is flooded as well. There are so many applications from everywhere. So be patient, but do not give up. Once again, if you have not subscribed, please do so. If you have not watched the other videos, please do so, because they are also equally very, very important. Bye-bye.